Hello and welcome back to the channel, Cali Legends Media. I want to thank all the subscribers, all those that watch the videos, all of you that support the channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you, especially those of you who remember to hit that like button. It's a good way to support the channel. Doesn't cost anything. And if you like the video, hype it. So that way it gets moved through the algorithm and streamed across more. Well, what happens is YouTube pays attention to the hypes, okay? So when you hype it, they're gonna move it through the algorithm and put it out more, recommend it more. So if you remember to hype it, if you like the video, go ahead and hype it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel but watch the videos, all you got to do is hit that subscribe button down below, set that notification bell that pops up on all, and you'll be notified whenever a new video drops or if we go live. Okay, we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're running out of time, people, and it's all up to you whether we make it or not. I'd really appreciate your assistance in this. And with that being said, let's get to the topic. So I received a comment from one of my subscribers, okay? And his question was directed to me, which I didn't answer, okay? Because it was a good question, and I wasn't sure how to answer it. I could have gave only my opinion, but so let's discuss it a little bit, okay? And maybe I could get something good in the comment section, or maybe people really haven't thought about it, some of the other content creators, and maybe it'll put some thought in their minds about this. Now, a lot of focus has been put on Dubs and Gunner, okay? I too have made several videos regarding them, but it's been more about the things they say and do rather than their status, their prison status, okay? And most of my my reaction videos to the other guys who have gone SNY or dropped out has been towards their content, not against their status or where they stand now if they go back to prison, because that's when it's going to count, when they walk back through them prison doors, which they've already dealt with because they already know they're going to lock it up. They're going to be kept away from those people who are going to be out to give them the blues, you know? So, but as far as here on social media, why is it that it's so focused on Dubs and Gunner, right? When we have a lot of different content creators that have gone SNY, PC'd up, dropped out, snitched, raped, and everything else, you know? So what about those individuals? How come nobody even mentions them or thinks of them or focuses on them? Okay, when they too have fall behavior on social media towards the general population, you know? I'm gonna give you a perfect example, okay? And I used him before, okay, when comparing Dubs to things that he would do. Let's talk about Renee Enriquez, okay? Now, you got this guy who has an R on his jacket. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means that he went somewhere with a woman that she didn't want to go, and he took her there by force. And so he has that on his jacket. Then, while incarcerated, chose to sell up with men that like other men, and he loved them, so to say, okay? Against some of them, against their will. You know, what were they going to do? You know, he was carrying a power, he had a strength, a superpower, let's call it, like Bam Bams would say, that the average bear didn't carry or hold, okay? And that was a problem for him because he wasn't cut from that cloth. But yet he held that power over them. They couldn't do anything. If they would have did anything, it would have cost them their lives. So they took whatever Renee was giving, you know? And, you know, I see him making videos about everybody that he used to, his old friends, you know? I think he should stick to what he knows, what comes from inside him, you know, and that's being a pedo, not a pedo, but a predator. Okay, I don't know how he was able to be inducted in the organization that he ended up in, um, but maybe that's one of the reasons why he felt he had to go, because maybe it was like, hey man, what about this cat? It's time to clean house a little. We got him for what we could get him for, and yeah, let's he's making us look bad. Let's just brush him under the rug. Uh, but that dude exited the picture before anything could happen. He knew his time was up. I don't know I don't know what it had to do with. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to know. It's none of my business. Okay, but that was, in his own words, the reason why he left. He knew his time had come short. It wasn't the first time that he had his tit in the ringer, and he felt this was going to be his last. But how could you come out here on social media? You work with the feds. You still work with the feds. Okay, which they accuse WAC 100, they accuse Renegade Media of doing, and they beat them up for. What about this dumbass? That like, oh, it doesn't matter. That was he's a new man. He turned over a new leaf. Man, that dude is a very shifty, shisty character. And I just feel maybe some how everybody's got their foot on Dub's neck and on Gunner's neck. That's another one that needs to be added onto the lista. You know what I mean? Out here on the YouTube yarda, because that fool is dirty. He testified in court. He even testified on Cholo One, a homie that's on our yard, on our YouTube yard. You want to play the YouTube game? Let's play this shit. You know what I'm saying? He went in there and testified on Cholo One, not even knowing Cholo One. Okay? So, Cholo One made a video about it. I mean, there's no denying it. It happened. It's not just hearsay. Dude did this. And testified against all his brothers and everybody else. He is a PC rat. He's the king. He's the llavero for them vatos. You know what I'm saying? He's driving that car. But yet he comes out and he's all soft-spoken, his slick tongue, brainwashing everybody. People are actually going and listening to this fool and supporting his channel. How do they support it? They support it by subscribing to his channel and watching the channel of a predator, of a known predator, of a convicted predator, to top it off. Okay? So, and a self-admitted snitch. Okay? But yet, there's no focus on this cat or anything. If we're gonna clean the yard up, or we're gonna apply pressure, put him on the lista too. Somebody asked me the other day, hey, well, why do you mention Al on your video? He's one of them vatos too. I don't care what your prison status is. That's prison. You understand? What matters to me is how you're coming out on social media. We have a standard we have to hold on YouTube, or they won't play our video. They won't. It's not going to happen. So we could only say certain words. We could only do certain things on YouTube, and it's a very little thing, but it would screw with his program. And right now, he's making money off of his viewers, off of his members, off of all the people that don't care that you're looking at somebody who did that to a woman against her will, okay, and to inmates, some against their will. It's well known to everybody that did time with him that he was living with a person that liked to be treated that way. That for I think it was 3 or 4 years he lived with that dude. That was his man. That was his boy. You know what I'm saying? Those days were over a long time ago, and he was still doing it, thinking that he knew everybody knew. Just nobody would say anything. But he's out here now. He's out here now on our yard, and I think that fool should be addressed, man. Let's if we're gonna be, let's not be selective politicking on people here on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? he's got more smut on him than anybody on YouTube. Yet, no attention. Nobody's just like in there. Everybody's shining everything on about this cat. So all of you so-called I don't know what it's called, not the resistance, but all you guys that are all trying to politic all that stuff here on YouTube, take a good look at the people that are on here. Let's not just go off on Dubs and Gunner. And I've made my share of videos about what I thought was improper behavior towards women, towards another race, towards lying and declaring to be something that you're not, and that who knows, maybe you've never been. Why? Because when somebody's a liar, somebody who's silver-tongued like that, you don't know what's true and what's a lie anymore. So them two are canceled. This fool, he should just be on that same level, even a deeper level of pressure and notoriety for what he is, man. That's what it comes down to. I think Al steps very carefully, and so does Slugs. They step carefully, do their thing, do their content, and they're not talking about things that they have no business talking about, like Renee. Renee's putting everybody on blast, all of his old acquaintances on blast with the past the wire shit. I know it's old business, it's nothing that's happening now, but still, man, come on, And I learned an important lesson from somebody. And basically, what was told to me was, man, I'm not gonna get disrespectful or anything, especially on social media. When we see them, it's on and cracking. If I can't, so I'm gonna take that lesson, and not anything to do with unaliving anybody, but I'm gonna take that lesson, and I'm not gonna just sit here and bash them and get mad and let all my temper, go to pot. I'm gonna keep my character in line. But I'm going to bring this to everybody's attention. You know what I mean? It was brought to mind by somebody on my comment section, and it made me think, you know what? That's true. Well, I was only thinking about it at the time, and then one of that jackass's Renee's videos popped up, and then it hit me. Man, that's right. There's other people even worse than him. That is selective politicking, man. So those of you who don't know who Renee Enriquez is, they used to call him Boxer. That ain't his name anymore. Yeah. Anyways, he used to be from Artesia, and he held a certain kind of power that he doesn't hold anymore. And even when he held that power, man, there was people and neighborhoods that really had enough of that guy already out in the streets for the way he was acting and treating people, But that's another story. That's another video. But the guy's always had a messed up character. Something's always been wrong with this dude, Especially the part where he became a predator and started doing things to guys in prison. Like, come on, man. Like, So I just want to shine a little light on that, Nothing's changed with anything that I said or did on Dub's videos or Gunner's videos. I feel the way I feel. I said the way I feel. That's all it is. And now this cat, If you guys really want to be fair about it, man, use some of that video time and some of that energy, man, to bring up this weirdo. And yeah, he's right here on YouTube just doing his thing and nobody saying nothing. Just, nah, Charlie. If you guys are going to go after people, man, this guy's the llavero. That's the one you want. So, that being said, you know what? This is only YouTube. This is just for shits and giggles to me. But there's a serious side to this, People in this kind of standings have left a population of people behind, and they're not happy about it. And the last thing you want to do is get caught up, end up in prison, and find out that you're not as crazy as you think you are, that you're not cut from that cloth, you know? And why? Because you'll end up over there on that side, and that's going to take you like way, way down on a level of respect and who you are. Not just who you think you are, but who you actually are. You know, because there's nobody that's come from the SNY side or PC'd up, I don't care what you call it, that can hold the same type of respect as somebody that does their time, follows the reglas, does what he's got to do, and gets out. And that's just the truth about it. You know, people could get their feelings hurt because somebody brings that up or whatever. That's just the way it is. I didn't make up the rules, you know. And I'm sure if you've ever gone SNY or PC, you guys know what time it is in there. You know what I mean? And out here in social media, you know, I notice you guys are different. You guys carry yourself different and everything appropriate to social media. And that's where we're at. We're in the social media world. We need to have a certain amount of respect and the way we act, the way we talk to one another. But that don't mean we can't bring up points that need to be brought up and thought about. Anyways, it's my video for today, people. Stay free, man, because these little YouTube yard politics and all of this stuff that's kicking up ain't nothing compared to the real thing. You know, that stuff will really occupy your mind and your soul when you're in there, because the stakes are too high. It's life and death and freedom. So stay free, people. Stay free out here where we don't have to worry about those things. We could go about our life and just do the best we can to live a good life and provide for those that we love and spend time with those we love. You know, there's nobody, people, there's nobody in prison right now that wouldn't want to trade places with a lot of us, you know, and be out here with their ladies, be out here in their own pads, eating what they want, when they want, going to sleep when they want, going outside, coming in when they want. You know, nobody. I don't think anybody could say, "Nah, F that. I'd rather be in here." No, I don't. I doubt it very much. You might have some that don't have nothing out here, you know, so they might think in there's a better place. At least they're not in the street. You know, at least in there they got some camaradas out here. Their family cut them loose. They don't have nobody. Maybe then, you know, yeah, dale gas. But if you got something that you want to hang on to and something you cherish in life out here, hang on to it, people, man, because a lot of people have lost that and can never get it back. That being said, thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next video. And all of you YouTube warriors that's out here politicking and shit against the SNYs and PCs, that vato's the one that you want to put on the top of the list. Gracias.